This lesson is about acquiring assets by purchase order. Not all organisations start every purchase with a requisition. They may use purchase requisitions only for stock and start directly with the purchase order for other types of purchases, for example, or may find it simpler to use a purchase order for everything. A purchase order has three main areas: a header, item overview, and item detail. Each one has a small button that allows you to expand or hide it, depending on which one you're currently working on. There are a number of mandatory fields, such as the vendor number and item details, and some organisations may have a specific document type for fixed assets. If you always enter the same organisation details, such as the company code, purchasing organisation, and purchasing group, you can set these to default automatically under Personal Settings. Choose the Default Values tab, and then either the PO header or Purchase Order Item tab. Note that in the GUI transactions, the buttons displayed at the top may vary depending on the size of your screen. On smaller screens, if the button does not appear, you may be able to find it under the More button. The second section of the purchase order is the overview. You can, of course, enter a number of different lines depending on how many items you're buying from the supplier, and the slide lists the key fields that have to be filled in. Most are obvious, but the material group for fixed assets indicates the type of fixed assets for reporting purposes, but also defines the default asset class if you create an asset in the purchase order itself. Similar to the purchase requisition, if you created an asset beforehand, you can enter the number in the Account Assignment tab of the line item, or you can create a new asset by clicking on the Assets button. You can then switch to and complete the other tabs. The slide shows the settings of some of the other item detail tabs. The first is the Invoice tab. Here you can see that both an invoice is expected and the GR-based invoice verification is selected. This means that the invoice is matched to the goods receipt rather than the PO line, so the goods receipt must always be posted before the invoice can be posted. The second tab is the Delivery tab, where you can see that although a goods receipt must be posted in this case, the goods receipt is non-valuated, so there'll be no value posting to the asset or GL account when the goods receipt is entered. The third tab is the Conditions tab. As there is no price already set up, we're entering the price by selecting the price condition. In this system, it's PPRO, and entering the price against it. Note that the purchasing configuration may vary, and in some instances you may be able to enter the price directly in the line item rather than the price condition.